We'll be using Google Sites in order to combine all of our Google Slides together. The first thing that I would do before you even get to Google Sites, I highly recommend making a folder where you can store all of your Google Slide presentations. And once we share the link with you for the art show, you could also put that in there as well. So it's all just in one place. You can find it again. The second setup piece that I would do is actually going into each of the slide decks, or you can do it from this screen and select multiple at once. But you should make sure that these are shared so that anyone who's in Fairfax County Public Schools can view the link. So initially it'll show up restricted, and it's just a matter of clicking on and changing it to Fairfax County Public Schools. And again, viewer, because you don't want anybody else to edit it once it's on the Google site. So you can go ahead and click done, and then you're ready to move on to adding it to the site. The first thing on the site, just to call your attention to it and make sure that you don't mess with it, Rachel and I will be adjusting the theme, but this affects the entire site, so everyone's page, not just your own. So don't go into themes. Rachel and I will tackle this one and set a theme for the entire site. For the individual pages, if you're at the elementary level, you'll click the arrow that's next to elementary schools and then find the appropriate school. Liberty is the only middle, so they don't have a drop-down menu, and then Centerville High School has our drop-down menus along with the senior shows. So I'm gonna do photography just to show you how to work through this. So I've already added a slideshow on here, but I'm gonna add another one. So when I'm ready to do that, I'm gonna click insert. And if I'm just adding the slide decks, I'm gonna go to Drive, and I can select multiple at once. I'm just gonna do one. But I'm gonna go to my folder where I've saved everything, click on whichever slide deck I need to add, or like I said, you can select multiple by holding Shift or Control, and then click Insert. And every time you insert something, it's going to drop it on its own section, basically. But you can always drag that up to a previous section, resize everything. When you click on it, it'll give you these circles, and you can match them up. It does restrict you a little bit. So as I'm hovering over this, you can hopefully see the lines on there. You can't get all the way to the edge. They have the gutter over on the side. And you can only resize it. Every other one is a gutter. So if I go over here, I can't put it here. It's gonna go smaller. But you know, again, resize it however you want to. If you want to use a layout, you can use a layout ahead of time. If you want to add text, you're more than welcome to add text. Again, it'll make its own section, but if you resize it, you can put things next to each other. You don't have the ability to change the color of the text, but you can change the size of it, the font, etc. If you don't like an element, you can always, once you've clicked on it, you can click on the trash can. If you don't like a whole section that you did and you just want to get rid of it, you can click on the whole delete section. And you have a little bit of choice in terms of color of the section. I think it defaults to white, but you can change it depending on what you want it to be. If you want to add any links, if you have videos that you wanted to show, you could always embed them using the URL. There's other images you want to put in separately. You don't have to do any of those things. The bare minimum is just putting the Google Slide decks, however many you have, and however you want to organize it by teacher. If you want to add anything else, there's other options down here, but bare minimum. Drive, if you've already set up your folder, really easy to just drop it in, resize, and you're good to go. And then you don't have to worry about publishing it. If you do accidentally click it, it's not a big deal. But once everything is uploaded by April 30th, Rachel and I will publish the entire site and make it live and make sure we pass out the URL and we can discuss further how we want to disseminate it to students and parents, etc.